Yep.
Shh.
Real talk, zero filter. Let's get this show on the road.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. We are as live as it can be. Welcome to Two Old Farts Live. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good something somewhere. Morning, Lisa.
Good evening, Mark.
This is crazy. With so much preparation, and now we are. You're looking over the farm. I'm looking over the tropical wonderland. Coffee in hand. Let me have a sip. Actually, I've got a traditional barley coffee, which is plain coffee, finely ground, poured in the bottom of a cup, and then boiling hot water over the top of it. I soften it a little with some water, and then some milk. It makes it
Very
bearable.
plain.
Yeah, it's sort of like an Americano with milk, but not filtered.
Oh,
So
okay.
there are floaty bits on the top. Anyway, we've got the coffee.
I usually have some. I usually have something that's called a bulletproof coffee, which is organic coffee and a little bit of butter, some coconut oil, and I have my own special mixture of coconut milk and almond milk, and a little bit of vanilla mixed in. It helps keep your stomach full for longer during the day.
Okay, what do you call it? A bulletproof?
It's called a bulletproof coffee.
Okay. I've got coconut oil,
That,
but you're saying
oh,
butter too.
yeah, but it has to be like grass-fed butter. I use the Irish kind.
Okay. But butter's hard to come by here and a bit expensive. We might be in a tropical paradise, but everything has to be essentially brought in. There's very few. No, I shouldn't say very few. Some of the things that we come to know and love are not not available in or readily available, should we say? So,
Honestly, if you put like a little, it's like a tablespoon of coconut oil. If you put a little bit more in, you don't have to worry about the butter. It's basically the same thing. The butter is just another healthy fat, but with a little flavor.
well, you'll have to get the recipe for that. For those of you who don't
I
know,
will.
just a little bit of a background. We will be, as we talk, as we indicate, we'll be talking shit. Actually, I don't know whether YouTube will allow us to use that sort of words and get bleeped. But anyway, in the early days, we're not monetized. Nobody really cares. So we're going to talk shit. Most of the things that we do will have links that we can share, and that will be in the comments.
Hmm.
So if we're talking about something that is interest to you, there's a good chance that there'll be a link to it in the comments. All I've got to do is find out how to do the comments. Find out how to do the. Of course, I know how to do the comments. Get the link, because this being the first issue, some of the things that we would normally be going through, just talking shit, we're putting together bit by bit. So I'm going to get some links. Lisa, why don't you let everybody know a little bit about you while I put that together?
Oh well, I'm a strange combination. I'm a originally suburban girl from New Jersey that moved to the rural area of Indiana with my partner and lived literally live within sneezing distance of a farm. We do our own little bit in the yard, but we don't have the full farm yet. Um, and I can put my head out the window with my coffee every morning and say hello to the cows, and you can hear them.
Oh, we should do that one day. We should set you up outside. Oh no, it's evening, isn't it?
Definitely.
I keep forgetting that. Okay, so one of the differences is you're on a completely different time zone. This is
Yes.
my Monday morning and your Sunday evening.
Sunday night. Yep.
And you're on the eastish coast, right?
It's considered the Midwest, but it's in the Eastern time zone. Oh, I'm also
Okay.
the mother of 8 cats. Count them 8.
Okay. I've got a cat that sits. Well, I've got a series of cats, but one of them is in view today. I probably could show. Let me see if I can find that particular one. Oh, there it is. There's that scene. Look, there's the cat going. Oh, by the way, that's it. Hi, everybody. As you can see in behind me over here, that's Uno. Yeah, Uno, number 1. So, actually, there you go. I'm pointing now. Oh, no, that's that way. There you go.
Point that way. There you go.
Uno, number 1, sitting in the background. Oh, and of course we can't see that on the vertical. We're broadcasting both in horizontal and vertical, so if you want to have a look on the mobile, it's available there. By the way, this is the coffee cup. Cheers. I don't normally wear a cap, but the image of 2 old farts said that I had to wear a cap, so I've gone out and I bought a cap.
Well, 2 old farts image says that my hair is brown, but I ain't dying it.
Anyway, here's the Lisa version when she's talking. Just we have an ad in Australia where the dentist can't show their face on ads, so he's brushing his teeth,
Really?
waving, yeah, and it's like wave to the camera. So you put up one hand and wave in the background. So you can do that anyway. So which cat is that you've got?
This is Tiggy.
Hi, Tiggy.
Actually older. She's the mommy of one of our orange cats, who is a little bit off. He's a typical orange cat. He has a brain cell, and he shares it with the other orange cat.
Okay.
And the thing is that she's a teeny weeny, and her son is huge. How she did it.
Well done.
She's gone now.
So now we've got the cats out of the road. So just to update everybody on what's going to happen, it's a bit of a free for all. The general run of show, which we've got a sort of a bit of an idea and a plan, will change according to how everything's going. Essentially, we're just going to be chatting between ourselves. The possibility is, if you're interested in joining us and coming onto the show, you can certainly do that. This week, we don't have that prepared, but if you're interested and want to come in and join us for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, half the show, we're quite welcome to have you join. But the essence of the show is the 2 of us talking shit about all sorts of crazy things from all different sides of the world and different opinions. So, now, part of what we're going to be doing today is updating the way in which we present and some of the scenes that we do. So we won't be perfect, but we're going to be able to share screens and talk about stuff. Lisa, what would you say were your main interests and topics that keeps you interested and active?
Oh, the stuff that keeps me interested and active. Definitely stuff about. I like to be an old-fashioned farm wife. I like to do everything homemade. As
Interested and active.
Oh, stuff that keeps me interested and active. Definitely stuff about. I like to be an old-fashioned farm wife. I like to do everything homemade. As Yep. Yep.
Shh.
Real talk, zero filter. Let's get this show on the road.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. We are as live as it can be. uh, welcome to Old Farts Live. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good something somewhere. Morning, Lisa.
Good evening, Mark.
This is crazy. With so much preparation, and now we are. You're looking over the farm. I'm looking over the.
Yep. Yep.
Shh.
Real talk, zero filter. Let's get this show on the road.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. We are as live as it can be. uh, welcome to Old Farts Live. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good something somewhere. Morning, Lisa.
Good evening, Mark.
This is crazy. With so much preparation, and now we are. You're looking over the farm. I'm looking over the tropical wonderland. Coffee in hand. Let me have a sip. Mm. Actually, I've got a traditional barley coffee, which is plain coffee, finely ground, poured in the bottom of a cup, and then boiling hot. The tropical wonderland. Coffee in hand. Let me have a sip. Actually, I've got a traditional. environment, and we'll share a little bit more of that later. However, one of them, which had the promise of being, as you know, the answer. Whilst they use AI every single day, I don't know about you, but I'm losing losing confidence, but also I'm not as enthusiastic.
Real talk, zero filter. Let's get this show on the road. Real talk, zero filter. Let's get this show on the road.
And good evening.
And good evening to you. Welcome to Two Old Farts Live, where we talk shit about anything you want.
Didn't we have that?
Mark.
I'll see you in the morning tonight. Good morning tonight. That's it.
Yes, good morning tonight.
Good morning tonight.
You have the Internet Whisker coming to you live from Bali, where it's tonight or tomorrow night, I think. And I'm in Indiana, where it's morning. So good morning tonight. How you doing, Mark?
Hang on a minute. we're a little bit confused because of our recording situation. However, I'm doing fantastic. Sunday night for you, Monday morning for me. So bright and sparky. I hope your weekend went well.
Everybody's weekend went well. It's typical Indiana here. It rained all night, all day, and all night.
Okay. Oh, there we are. I forgot to change the scene. Look, there we are. The two of us, talking shit. One on the bright tropical. You on the farm. What sort of flowers are they? Sunflowers. Yeah.
Oh, they're sunflowers. They're great for everything. They're actually really good for the soil, and the seeds are awesome to eat.
Okay. It's a long time since I've nibbled a few seeds. Maybe pumpkin seeds. Oh, a chia. Over here, everything is like super healthy. So chia is on the menu for all of the, in places.
Yeah, all those seeds are really good for you to munch on or mix in with things. I mix a bunch of seeds in when I make bread, and it comes up nice and crunchy and delicious.
Super. Anyway, we're supposed to be have everything organised so that we just go step by step through everything, and we have some notes which I'm sure we will, mess up and move around as we go through the chat session. However, Lisa's going to tell us a little bit about what it is that we're going to do, how everything works, and a little bit more about how to get involved. So, Lisa, take it away.
Ready. Well, today we're going to a couple of things we're going to talk about. Mark's going to fill you in on residual incomes and side hustles, where people that have jobs or retired could use a little bit extra on the side. Also, we're going to do our usual weekly rant about stuff that really pissed us off this week, and probably you too. A little touch on tech and technology, social media, stuff like that. And the best way for you to get involved is to share our link for our show, tell your friends, get them all in here so we can talk and we can get comments and questions from you. We can answer your questions about tech, about other things, about things that make you mad, hot topics, news, and current events. So I think Mark's going to start us off with how we got here.
You're dead right. I'm going to be talking about how we got here. In fact, it's not where we are, but how we got to be doing two old farts. Two old farts chatting, just, chilling out, is pretty much how we operate during our day when we're working together. We often digress from the things that we need to be doing into the stuff that just pops up. Obviously the tech stuff is common. The other normal day-to-day stuff, a little politics, a little international, many of the things that would be either a little bit of history for us or relevant to us. That's how all of this started. So one day we decided that instead of just talking to ourselves, we thought that maybe an audience would like to join us and either listen or partake with us. So that's how we got to be here. And one of our sessions was, how do we create the environment to be able to have the pair of us talking shit, like two old farts do, getting down onto the stuff that really annoys us and how we're going to put that together. And that's how Two Old Farts.live came together, because I do broadcast and live broadcasting for other people. It was an easy transition with the technology to be able to do it for us. And we're not overly organised, and part of the process of the show is that we're going to work our way through some of the things that we had to do to be able to make this happen, and the tech, the fun stuff, the easy stuff, the difficult stuff, and that sort of leads us into generally the area that we're working on at the moment. So that's how we got to be doing Two Old Farts Live. And
Alrighty. Well, it's not like we're next door neighbors. You're on the other side of the world for me in another time zone, another day completely.
well, exactly 12 hours apart, which makes it sort of easy in one sense. My 6 p.m. is your 6 a.m. and my 6 a.m. is your 6 p.m., vice versa. But it does allow us to be able to be a little bit creative. I do get to see everything before you do. So I'm ahead of you. And, you know, I have a slightly different outlook. The weather here is t-shirts and shorts all year round. And often our conversations are about the significant difference in the location and the lifestyle, how that happens, the super organised of Lisa's.
When we get snowed on.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the other thing too. In doing this, it's not natural for us to be, talking professionally, so to speak. So the ums and ahs and etc. and the way in which we present this are more about relaxed conversation. However, every now and then we do think about, oops, maybe we should, be doing it in a certain way, and we'll catch ourselves out. So I am a lot, I are a lot, and I and a lot. And there it was again. I ended. I added. Is that such a thing? Anyway, if you'd like to join us, in the coming weeks, we will have the ability for you to drop on and say good day, and be a part of the show, either on video or just audio. Either of those are options that are available. I'm thinking, in the next, 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have all of those pieces together. And if you want to join us, other than just, listening to us, Sunday night, 8 p.m. every week, Two Old Farts Live. If you've got a question, jump at us. We're going to be keen to be able to get some feedback and other people joining in the conversation.
Absolutely. And if you want to drop a comment on any of the videos, we do check the channel all the time. So your questions will be read and they will be answered.
Sometimes we'll answer them in the thread. Sometimes we might just hold it over to the old fart session on Sunday. A Sunday night session. Are we going to give it a name?
We already did. Two Old Farts Live.
Two Old Farts Live, the Sunday session.
There you go.
Okay. Well, the Sunday session.
Through the long time that we've known each other, you've mentioned things like residual income and side hustles for people that either want to add to their income or to their retirement. And there's a lot to it. So why don't we start with a short intro of what that involves in some cases?
Absolutely. Look, the key for me is that most people in in our age group, the old farts, don't have the technical knowledge, tend to be a little bit scared, and of course the addition of AI has just freaked everybody out because everything is going to change so quickly. And yes, things will change. So taking action to be able to create your own independence and be less reliant on the traditional stuff that we've come to accept as being the normal, a job, family, etc. They're the sort of things that are going to make a change. So having a secondary income is an ideal option for people. Some people want a business, etc. However, our focus is essentially residual income and side hustles, both online and offline. But we're both very keen to share the opportunity of residual income. So, don't sell yourself. Sell something that has a recurring element. Not unlike your electricity bill, they sold your connection to the electricity network, and they've been charging you for power ever since. Your phone.
A lot of the AI and stuff like this and stuff on the computer as a young person's thing. You see the kids doing their videos and doing all kinds of stuff and making money by putting their faces everywhere. It's scary if you're not really in that world. But with Mark here, pretty much there's nothing to be scared of, and can show you how to make it easy and less confusing for something that you're not really familiar with.
I like to call it the KISS project, all right? KISS being keeping it super simple, keeping it or IT super simple. It is remarkably easy once you know the pieces. So the essence of what it is that we're doing is the simple steps to be able to add an additional income stream that is workable as a side hustle. So an hour a day, 2 hours a day, maybe 4 hours a week, something along those sort of lines. So the income potential to replace the traditional job, or to add an additional income into a traditional job income, or as we call it, a pension. You guys, or pension superannuation. How would you call the payments that you get after retirement?
Well, there's actually several different things that can happen. You can be on just straight Social Security, which is something that you pay into in the United States your entire working life. And when you retire, then they start making payments back to you because really your money. Anyway, people also have pensions, which they get through their jobs. You pay into it also the entire time you work. It can be several things like an IRA. And when you retire, once again, they start making your payments back to you. I know my mother, for when she retired, she actually got both Social Security and a pension. And being a veteran of World War II, she actually got a higher pension than some other people. That's how they do it. They basically, you get a percentage of what you were making every week, but she got a higher percentage because of her veteran status.
Got it. Yep, understand.
Several different ways to go at it. And the Social Security is important because yes, it kind of like you loaned your money to the government and you want to get it back. But that's also where you're in a lot of cases where part of your or all of your medical is coming from either Medicare. Um, and if you work with a job that does have good insurance, will also contribute. So you'll have it from several different areas as well. Complicated.
So I guess the key for where it is that we're currently working on now is making residual income. Sounded like I was drunk then. Residual income, whether it is you are coming up to retirement, whether you're retired or you have something going, you just want something else happening. Kids have left home, you've got more time on your hands. The whole idea of perhaps taking that RV holiday that you don't have to be able to afford before you leave, it actually is part of your daily activities. With the internet's so easy to be able to connect to virtually anywhere now. You can take an income source, something simple that's an hour or two a day, and go and adventure. Look.
Absolutely. Even if you're going to Florida and staying in a hotel, you can take your laptop with you. Most people do nowadays, and do a little bit, and then go jump in the pool.
Yep. Do a little bit. I used to call it, have laptop will travel. It's much easier now than when I started back in 2002. However, it's also the opportunity and to make an income is significantly easier now than what it was before. A couple of hours a day. If you've got a couple of hours a day, or maybe if you set aside 1 day a week, the book Tim Ferriss wrote, 4-Hour Work Week. Whilst it's a nice cliche-ish title, if you get it right and you got set up correctly, it's not all that difficult to have a replacement of your standard income in 4 hours of work. Might be spread across a week. You might choose to do it all on the weekend, or you might be, pick a day in the week, or, whatever. Everybody has the potential.
There are some people that are morning people. Or the time of day. Some people are morning people.
Yes,
some people are evening people. Your morning people, get up, make your coffee, go on the laptop, and put some work in while you're sipping your coffee. Or in the evening when you're maybe having a glass of wine.
Yep. Get up when you're ready, work when you're ready. And many of the things don't have the traditional deadlines. Like, you have to be at work at 9 o'clock, and lunch is this, and finish at 5, and then, you've got to do this by this, by this, by this, by this. The possibility exists that you have the freedom to be able to choose rather than have it
instead of being controlled.
Yeah. And that's part of the essence of what it is that we're heading towards in the project, which we call Be Indie, which is short for Be Independent Today. It's really much easier than most people imagine. It's much easier than most people. I was going to say perceive, but the impression that's given is that it's a young person's high technical aspect, but the reality is that the life that we have is the training that we need to be able to do this. We're just doing it in a different medium. Once upon a time we did it on phone. Remember when we did faxes? We just, we're now on mobiles and laptops. Yeah.
Absolutely. Which are incredibly mobile, which is a good thing. The one thing I like about Be Independent Today is that not only is it a place where you can, check out residual income and side hustles, but there will be training on that teaches you how to use all these tools that you need to be your own boss, basically.
100%.
It's not a get rich quick scheme. There is no such thing. But you hack at it a little bit at a time, and nickels and dimes do add up as they keep coming in.
Yeah, I look at the story that I keep talking about from my career is that I had a long-term residual income that paid me every single month for just over 10 years. I sold it once and got paid every month for 10 years without having to do anything else in that circumstance. But that's the sort of thing that is possible. I've lived my life as a generally sales and marketing. and connecting people who want to buy stuff with people who've got stuff for sale, and taking a commission in that, or doing the direct help with those people who have a business and need to do the basics to be able to get that business online. Before email was normal, before websites were normal, certainly before mobile phones and everything available in your pocket. So they're the sort of things that we're going to show you. That if you haven't done any of that before, it's not difficult. There are a few simple steps to make sure that you don't waste time or waste money learning something that is not going to help you in the long term. The comparison that I give you is that when we went to school, we learnt thousands of things. On a day-to-day basis, we only use 10 to 100 of them. So the key in what we're providing is that we give you the 10 to 100 things that are actionable, that make a difference, rather than having to learn everything and then stumble through. So fast tracking the possibility of anyway, so that's the
I was where you are too. When I first met Mark, I didn't know anything about a lot of this technology stuff. I mean, I had a computer, I did a few things on there, but that's sort of limited. It was limited to. Now I have my own website. I'm working on a book, all because Mark took me under his wing and taught me all this stuff. And
we should show them your website.
Okay. It's not scary. That's the other thing you have to remember. It's not scary. It's just something that that you can learn, and it's very easy. It's the fear factor, I think, stops a lot of people. Yes, there it is.
Oh, okay. Wave to everybody. This is the behind the scenes picture. So this is Lisa's website. We've managed to do this from scratch, registering the domain right through to customizing it, and it's a constantly growing process. If you were to describe it, the ease of what compared to what you imagined, out of 10, how easy was it for you, Lisa?
Oh, if 1 was difficult and 10 was easy, it was 10. It was actually very easy because all of the tools that are provided now, that are out there that you can use to build a website, it really isn't that hard. And it's actually kind of fun finding out all the stuff that it does.
Yeah.
And that you can make it do.
And of course, the key, the website is a tool. It's fun, etc. It's a profit center, but it's also a way in which you can share your identity. It gives you a great branding opportunity. The key is websites used to be really geeky, and then they got super easy. But we can all remember when websites were anybody could build a website, and it looked like that anybody. It was like you built your own car. Some of them were downhill races. Some of them were race cars. Most of them were very average. So it got to the point where
some of them had 3 wheels.
Yeah. So professionalism suddenly became important with websites, and so therefore it went back to the technical people. But it's now once again flipped around into full circle. Even though you need to know some of the stuff to get moving, the day-to-day options on a website, remarkably easy to be able to put together something like we're experiencing now with Lisa's website. Remarkably easy to be able to put something together that is doesn't take long, is not difficult to understand, and really easy to be able to update. plus, keeping in contact with people instead of, giving the money to Facebook, you send people to your own website. You create the identity instead of them owning you. Your people are here and a part of what you do. You're still obviously using social media. It's really important. But this is,
it becomes a tool instead of a need.
Exactly. And that, but it's a desirable tool, right? It's like driving a car. Some people really enjoy, driving the car and just heading out. Other people use it to go from point A to point A to point B. So a website really has as many uses as you want, and customizable in so many different ways. Whether it's e-commerce, whether it's blog centric. Obviously, your passion, Lisa, around food, which keeps me interested often. It's easy to be able to get that. So, that's right. You're building your own recipe series. How long before that comes out?
I am. It should be out by the beginning of July. Just doing a lot of the little tiny stuff that needs to make it look just right. Um, the editing process and putting it and everything. There's actually a wonderful website that Mark introduced me to called Designer, where you can write your own books, and they help you. It's one of those technical things that it's not difficult, um, and they make it easy for you. It's was it Designer IO, I believe, and if you're passionate about any kind of book, you can put it in there. They have all kinds of templates and stuff that you can use. Um,
Yeah,
another one of those
design is a really great, simple tool. Essentially, for those people that may understand a little bit about ebooks, it's a PDF creator, but it's dedicated to creating that environment. Yes, of course, it has the AI assistance if you need it. However, creating ebooks, in this instance, recipe books, but it's a combination of something like a Word document and graphic design, say Canva and Google Docs. Put them together, and it does all of those pieces very easily and very cost effectively too. So,
yeah, super simple.
Yep, that's it. Kiss.
That's what I like.
Keeping it super simple.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
But the other word, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's the essence of where we're both coming from here. It's in our day-to-day stuff that we do, helping others to be able to get over the hump of not knowing into being able to achieve that. We hear so many, get rich quick scheme opportunities come past us. The whole idea is to sift through all of that, fake stuff, the scammy stuff, the less likely to be valuable, and focus on the stuff that heads you towards the outcome that you want without having to learn the lessons the hard way. Now, some things don't suit. Some things suit some people. Other things suit other people. If I imagine the trials and tribulations I've had with, in the learning curve, because I know I tend to take on more, but more than half of the stuff that I come across, and even if I think it might be valuable, I'm often the adage of, if it looks too good to be true, it isn't. In fact, Lisa, one of the things that we've been doing recently, we took on 2 major products in which to go deep and do trainings on. One of them is still in our highly recommended environment, and we'll share a little bit more of that later. However, one of them, which had the promise of being as the answer to our press.
It had the appearance of being something really great, and then it turned into something that probably will end up in the trash can.
Yeah. Look, the reality is that it suits a very small group of people, and we're looking for stuff that is, easy for the majority of people. Whether you're starting from complete newbie or some experience. The other thing too is that many people see that a laptop is a necessity, whilst it's a really good advantage to have a laptop versus a tablet or just a phone. It is possible to do many of the things that we're talking about from something really simple, like a phone or a tablet. It's just some of the things tend to be easier with a laptop. So even if you are a phone only, lots of people in the area that I'm working in at the moment, in the locality, it's a phone only environment rather than a laptop only, and lots and lots of things are happening for the phone user. So it's not just consuming; it's creating. And so it's possible in all of those environments. Anyway, we digressed away from.
Yep. There's also a lot of laptops out there that are simple and easy to use for people. If you're questioning, you don't know what to get. Um, I know Mark is a Mac guy. He's definitely an Apple product user. I've always used. I had a little experience with Apple in the past, but I'm mostly just a regular PC kind of person. Um, However, Mac does have a new laptop out that I've been drooling over. The Neo, right, Mark?
Correct. The Mac Neo is definitely a you hear it often, but definitely a game changer in the industry. Yes, I'm a Mac lover. I've converted from 110% Windows and PCs into definitely connected into the Apple environment. Still use both, but my primary stuff is Apple. There's a couple of good reasons for that. The fight between the hardware and the software is almost non-existent. Things just work, and I couldn't be bothered right now chasing all of the techie stuff to make things work. I just want it to work, and the Neo has bridged the price gap, which means that you get the quality of that infrastructure of Apple and the simplicity in a very affordable package. In fact, most people were incredibly surprised at how effective and as a productivity item and as a power tool, and exactly the right price point, to the point where the market said yes, and there was a strong possibility that Apple was going to run out of Neos because they underestimated the consumer demand. That's obviously been rectified now. They've been able to continue the production at the level that's necessary. So choosing the right pieces, as you mentioned, is an important aspect.
It doesn't have to be terrifying, and you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, because a lot of people don't have that. But choosing something that's good, strong, and powerful with a decent price point is actually really, really important to a lot of people.
Yeah. So instead of the traditional, I guess, purchasing process where you spend a lot of money up front and then have to recoup it. The opportunity that's available at the moment is that you spend less money getting what you need, and more money on what it is that you need to do to be able to, bring in a comfortable income back in again. And that's now closer for everybody than it has been for a long time.
Well, yeah, it's like a boom. It really is like a boom. Like all of a sudden, all this tech is available, and not just the hardware, but the software and
Yep.
all the apps and everything that are out there. It's just an explosion. Sometimes difficult to navigate. You don't know what to use or who to trust. Um, I've seen a lot of apps out there and websites that are consummate garbage.
Yeah, look, the advent of internet everywhere has allowed us to be able to operate with that as our primary focus. We are never out of touch anymore, whether it be phone or tablet, iPad, or laptop, or there's a very, very strong market space at the present moment with internet connected TVs or smart TVs. So no matter where we go,
Yep.
internet is there. And of course, once upon a time, traveling with internet was more difficult than it is now. Starlink have absolutely creamed the market space with the ability to be able to not just roam everywhere and have it as when you're standing still, but to have that sort of reliable connection anywhere at any time and being completely portable. Like I remember the early days of running an ISP, and we were doing satellite bandwidth, and it was incredibly expensive to put satellite connections together, and they weren't fantastic, and they got worse before they got better. But we are in a completely new world now. So internet is everywhere,
Oh, yeah, it is. And
and
easy to connect to even on your phone. Um,
well, how
we
often are
travel.
you?
My partner,
Yeah, go on.
um, my partner and I at one point were traveling all over the country. And in order to get any kind of cell phone connection wherever we went, we had to actually have three different cell phone companies because this company has, towers here but not there, and towers over there not here, and we literally had to have three different cell phone companies in order to be able to keep connected with the people we were doing business with.
Long term, which has turned out to be the best carrier for the majority of what you do on a day-to-day basis?
We're actually having the best luck with AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Connection wise, I'm getting because we're out in the country, you don't always get the greatest signal, but I seem to be able to get a good signal out here. Because we're quite a ways from the nearest tower. But the signal is strong enough that if I don't have my Wi-Fi going, I can still make a phone call if I need to, which is important when you're
Mm-hmm.
out in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, we drove around in his truck, and there were places where we were literally in the middle of nowhere with no signal and praying nothing would go wrong because we wouldn't be able to get a hold of anybody because they
Yeah.
just how it was with the cell phones, the different companies we had to have
Because
the
you know,
main phone, the emergency phone, the second emergency phone.
once upon a time, it didn't matter if you weren't connected or you didn't. We grew up
Yeah,
with long periods of days and weeks where we didn't contact anybody, and it wasn't unusual for that, right? And the
oh, yeah.
public phone system was more active then. However, we've got to the point now where if somebody doesn't hear from you or you don't hear from somebody else in a very short period, it's almost like there's something wrong, and our connectivity is um, almost constant. How many people um, walk around with their phone in their hand? It's not even put away. It's literally being dealt with.
There, yeah.
I remember when
I think a lot of
getting
people. Hmm?
I remember when getting a phone call was really special. Like you would hear the phone ring and you would run from wherever you were just to be able to see who's on the other end, right? And now it's like, voicemail, obviously caller ID changed the world. So now we could choose who we answered.
Because there's so many people out there calling you that you don't want to be called by. Um, I notice a lot of the older people today, they're using social media to keep in touch with family and friends rather than the phone. I see that all the time. That all they're doing is, talking to the grandkids or putting pictures up of their grandkids or whatever instead of making a phone call. They can connect that way. I know a lot of people only get a hold of me on Facebook. I don't even know if I have their phone number or not anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Facebook in some of the Western world is a number one communication tool. Messenger, is a part of that. However, depending on where you are in the world, the product changes based on the locality. So whilst Facebook has a massive infrastructure in, I guess the first world Western, so Europe, UK, US and Canada, etc. As soon as you start to move out of those areas, there are other tools that obviously carry that same purpose. But no matter which one, whether it's WeChat in China or WhatsApp in most of Asia, Line in the Philippines, Facebook Messenger, or a little bit more now WhatsApp in the US, etc. They're all doing exactly the same thing, and you're merging the communication process into that single device. Imagine when doing a video call was really rare, and now we almost, prefer it. It's become, yeah. Anyway,
And it's funny that you see people on their phones making a face call, like all over the place everywhere. It used to be something that you only did at home on your computer, and now it's like you can see them like in the middle of the grocery store, chatting with somebody on FaceTime or whatever.
yep. Yeah, the person talking to themselves isn't talking to themselves anymore. There's something else. They've got a set of earpods on, or they've got a FaceTime call happening on their phone, and they're talking to somebody, or letting somebody choose whatever it is that in the shop that they're in, or whatever. Yeah, it's just.
Or heaven forbid, somebody in the bathroom talking to somebody on the phone, which is funny. The old joke goes, that somebody says, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" And the guy in the next stall says, "Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?" And the first guy goes, "Oh, can I call you back? Some idiot's talking to me in the bathroom here."
Yeah, and it's embarrassing to be in that spot. Let me tell you. Yeah.
I've heard people in the bathroom talking to people, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
funny.
it's somewhat embarrassing. Anyway, I can't believe it. We've been talking for 45 minutes already. We're normally going to limit this to an hour, and we've got through about a third of what it was that we anticipated talking about today. However,
On a couple of
well, we've got a couple of things which have been taking our attention. One of the things that came up recently, and especially in the most recent past, is about the information that's coming to us. There's so much of it coming, and it's hard to understand who to trust anymore. It used to be, close family and newspapers, and it was, not hard to see the information that you needed to get. Go to the library to get your information. Now it's everywhere, and the inclusion of fake content everywhere. Massive problem.
Yes, yes, and it looks so very real and sounds so very logical that a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, that must be it." But um, the trick is to find a source or sources that you know you can trust.
Hmm.
There's a couple of news sources out there. The main one that I've been hearing a lot about is called Ground News. We can actually join it, set your news to, whatever side of the aisle you want to hear from. But you can also check both sides, and they actually have a reliability. They to check uh, information for reliability as well, and they tell you that there's ratings that they give you. Um, it's a
Yeah,
really great source.
I do like what they do, and you've hit the nail on the head. Whilst not necessarily being the provider of the news, they're filtering or allowing you to be able to see the news according to, um, I guess, a truth factor. So the
Mhm.
potential for, fake news or distorted news, depending on who who it's coming from, is less. Certainly,
Absolutely.
I think the advent of those services that bypass traditional media, um, and I'm heading towards Facebook, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, pretty much being traditional media. Like you've got to take it with a grain of salt, unless you can, verify things. And of course, locally here, the last election, the president was called the TikTok president, a very stern and old man with a military background, suddenly was doing dance numbers on TikTok
Oh
because
my goodness.
because his people had said, if you do that,
Mhm.
it will get you into a particular marketplace. Um, that Trump campaign where he's always doing his dancing was 10% of what this guy did, and it was
I'm sure he did it better.
clearly evident that the social media aspect of his campaign made a drastic difference to the outcome, because
Oh, yeah.
people couldn't tell the truth from the manipulation.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's everywhere. I mean, look here in the United States. As a perfect example, both of them really, but they're slightly different. Trump has his own social media now, so he does a lot on that. Um,
Yeah, look,
so he
it's
gets his thoughts and
it's
ideas.
it's disappointing to see some areas, but people are lazy, and they traditionally they'll just go where the flow goes, and you've actually got to make some special effort at the present moment. We know that uh, manipulative behaviour is much easier with social than it is with traditional media, and
Mhm.
so we have to be super careful. The advent of AI
Oh yes.
has significantly adjusted that. I'm
Oh, yeah. And
hmm, whilst I use
and it's
AI every
interesting
single
too.
day, I don't know about you, but I'm losing confidence, but also I'm not as enthusiastic to be able to view some of the social media because of the distortion
Mhm.
and the sensationalism of some of the AI stuff that comes through and keeps getting pushed to us.
Oh, yes, and it's an explosion all of a sudden. Almost every place on social media has something AI posted up there. I even
Yep.
see several companies that are legitimate companies, but all of the products that they're showing, you can tell it's all AI. It's like you can't take a picture.
Now, I don't mind. I guess some of the marketing aspects, and to remove the complexity of graphical stuff with AI. Don't mind that. It's productivity wise, that's a huge thing because graphic design used to be a bottleneck for marketing. It's less so now. The challenge that I have is more about the unbelievable stuff. The whale coming up to the side of the boat, and grabbing the seal off the back of the boat. Well, once upon a time, those things happened rarely, and there wasn't a video camera. Now, you looking at that sensational stuff, the stuff that's designed to take your attention, and uh, the real stuff that does happen like that now is I'm less likely to believe that. All right, the the animal stories in Africa of lions chasing things, or the sensational car crashes, or escapes, etc. And I've got to the point now where once upon a time I would stop and look at that stuff because it was like how unusual and how lucky it was to be able to capture that. Now it's just like, oh, it's probably just another AI, and just straight past it. And
Right.
losing trust.
A lot of people are skeptical. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a big boom apparently on building those data centers. They're having a lot of trouble with that. They want to basically, from what I hear, I have not delved deep into it yet, but they want to build them everywhere, and people don't want them because they'll use up electricity and water and all kinds of resources and take it away from the community. Like I said, I haven't delved deep into that yet, but that's what they're reporting.
Yeah, look, there is some issues around data centers, but here's the other side of that. Everybody wants to use the AI, the ChatGPTs, the Claude, the Perplexity, etc., Gemini, Meta AI. They all want to use those tools. Okay, those tools happen in somebody else's computer somewhere else. So it's not local anymore. Okay, and as a result of more people wanting to do that and being able to do that and getting the results that they want from that, means that those data centers, those interconnected computers, are going to be required to be able to facilitate that. So part of the the process is they've got to be built. Nobody wants it in their backyard. Not in my backyard, right? And that everybody who says that will go home and do something on AI that uses a data center, right? Like, it's a really tough.
That's 22.
Yeah, in some way it is. We need to have them because we want to do this, and we want to do this because we've got them. We're all perfectly okay before we had them, or we thought we were, and now we've got them. Now, that said, are they good for the environment? Are they good for, our society as a whole? Generally, I'm okay, whilst they are ethically located and operated. When they take advantage, or they take more of a resource than they should in a local area, or local participants end up paying more for something because somebody else is either willing to pay more, or utilizing a greater fair share. That's when I start to to worry. But
A little bit of redesigning is in order. I'm sure I know the technology is there for them to do it in such a way where it doesn't kill the environment or take resources away. I mean, they can go to the moon, but they can't design a data center that is safe for the environment. I don't believe that. I believe they can if they want to.
oh, absolutely, absolutely, they can and do. It all comes down to dollars, right? It's operating costs. If it costs you
That is
a dollar
true.
to run and you can, you can't get a dollar back for it, then it's not going to be profitable. So therefore, it's not going to happen. But all of these centres try and minimise their costs and maximise their income. That's the business that they're
Absolutely.
in. So,
That is the
you know,
corporate, I call it the corporate mentality. His for every big corporation, all they wanted to maximize profit and minimize what they have to put out for anything. Um, just it's just not cool. I've worked for a
well,
lot of big, huge stores in my working days, and the smaller ones were much more pleasant because you didn't have to deal with that corporate mentality that everything nickel and dime is the most important thing.
so the end result is that the shareholders get their returns at the expense of
Mhm.
the product or process or whatever. I have a
The
strong,
earth.
yeah, I have an entrepreneurial base. I'm a lemonade stand guy, right, or a newspaper run or whatever it happens to be. The local,
Absolutely.
car wash or laundry or whatever. Um, uh,
Hmm.
uh, so big corporations are a part of our capitalist society. Um, I think we've got to the point where a change has to happen soon because the profit motive is driving things in the wrong direction. Uh,
I like to if I'm going to support any kind of corporation, I like to find the ones that are at least try to be a little bit ethical. Ones that pay their first and foremost pay their employees decently, and give them decent benefits. There are a couple out there. There's actually a couple of companies that I support where I get some of my baking products from that
mm-hmm.
are employee owned. Um, I'm not
Yep.
trying to push it, but Bob's Red Mill, when Bob was alive, and then he ran the company and the employees were involved because they all had stock in the company. When he passed away, instead of leaving it to, his kids or whatever, he left the entire company to his employees.
Great
So that
ethic.
company is now 100% employee owned. So I will support that till the day I die.
Yep. Absolutely. So
Because
I think that'll be a constant conversation for us. The recent SpaceX IPO is a classic example of big corporation. Um, uh, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? There's so many different sides to that particular story, and we probably cover that later. But we're nearly come up to our hour. I can't believe it
I
happened so
know
quickly.
it raced by. But I just want to point one more thing on that. If anybody out there listening knows of any corporations or companies that are ethical or something you would support and why, please make a comment or come in on our show and let us know what ones you have found that you think is worthy of support rather than the big, huge, leech sucking corporations.
Yeah, what a great idea. Yeah, so I second that. If you know of anything that's worthy of a little bit of promotion in our circle of influence as it grows, please let us know. We'd be happy to be able to um, let other people know. Sharing and community is two aspects that are really important long term. Obviously, education is
Yeah.
important, but that sharing and
Oh yeah.
keeping things within the community is as important as the read, write, and arithmetic, the three R's as we used to call it. I wonder if we got different learning styles. You in the US and me, because I grew up in Australia, obviously. I wonder if we got different learning styles.
Sounds like an awesome subject for another show.
For another show. So,
Absolutely. We'll put that on our list.
So on that note, I think we've got everything that we wanted to cover today done. So we can look forward to being able to have other people come in and your comment, interact, during the broadcast with you, as well as questions that are covered in comments. But happy to have you subscribed and being a part of the process, and look forward to having you here for the longer term. And if you've got a moment, don't forget, go and check out Lisa's website. Her site, if I can just bring it up now for you, is here. And look, I'll just move you out of the road so they can see the website details. And of course, I've got my one there as well too. I'm the Internet Whisperer, and more of that coming soon. And this is my main website where I do my rants, and I look forward to being able to do more of our shall I call it ranting, some of the stuff that, what pisses me off, stuff. We've been very nice. We've been very nice today.
Yeah, we've been calmer. We have really have to ramp it up. And don't forget to invite all your friends to come join us. If you have anything you want us to rant about, let us know in the comments, or go to one of our websites or on Facebook and leave us a message.
Oh,
We
that's
will
right.
rant with you and for you.
We forgot to tell them about the website. The the Two Old Farts website. This is a work in progress, just like this show is. However, if you want to catch us 8 p.m. every Sunday, and links on the website to be able to do that. If you want to get notified of the events as they're coming up, all you have to do is hit the notification, and it will ask you for your email, and we'll let you know before. Otherwise, you can go to the YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. Obviously, we've already subscribed to our own channel, but you can find us at Two Old Farts on YouTube, and very soon across all the other social media channels. But for now, YouTube, website are the two main areas where we operate, and we would love to get your email so that we can keep you notified of all of the updates that we have and before each show. So that's it from me tonight. Leslie, you want to take us out with a final
final thought. Don't let the turkeys get you down. There is a way that you can be old school and new school at the same time, and it's not a scary thing.
Okay. So on that note, it's been great having you here, if you're still with us, and look forward to having you again soon. And this is the Internet Whisperer, Mark, signing off. Lisa, and we'll see you next time. Oh, what is it that we've got to say as we go out? I'll see you in the morning tonight.
See you in the morning tonight.
Cheers.
Real talk, zero filter. Let's get this show on the road.